just little kernels that are going to lead up to where Tim is today. So, round about this time in his 20s, he begins to play this sport called platform tennis. And some of you probably don't know what paddle tennis, as it's commonly called, is, but it's a rackets game that is played on a court that's a raised aluminum deck, roughly half the size of a tennis court, with 10 feet of chicken wire surrounding the court. It's played with a composite racket and a foam rubberish yellow ball. Tim became very good. Tim became so good that literally every single player in Philadelphia, if you ask everybody to a person who they would want to beat once in their life, it would be Tim McAvoy. And it rarely ever happened. He went on to win multiple national championships. He went on to the Hall of Fame. And he's done as much for paddle tennis as anybody I know. And that's, again, it's just kind of part of this whole rackets culture. We're not going to go to golf. It doesn't translate to golf. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredulous. But as a rackets player, he's kind of incomparable. So then I get the call in the late 90s. Chaz, I've gotten a call from Dave Marvin at Marvin and Palmer in the investment management business. Do you know them? Because at this time I had my own management consulting and research firm. And he said, do you think it's a good idea? What do you think about this business? Do you think I'd be good in the sales and marketing end of this business? And I thought about that for about 3 seconds. I said, I think that's a great idea. And Tim, to his credit, just like he is today, asked me a bunch of very specific questions. I have no idea what they were. But he was doing his due diligence and he was thinking it through, and he joined Marvin and Palmer, where he has been for most of his career until he joined Vic Zolo and the DePrince Reese and Zolo family recently. And during his, early to middle years with Marvin and Palmer, Tim contracted 11 years ago, stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a complete shock. Obviously, you don't see a healthier person, and you can't imagine that would happen. Dave Marvin and the Marvin and Palmer family was incredibly supportive, and Tim's family, friends. Tim, during this time, he developed something called the 4 F's. Some of you may know that. In order: faith, family, friends, physicians. He's a Penn State boy, so. But Tim has lived by that, and he beat that cancer. It was incredibly challenging, and he turned it back and off he went. Now during this time, he's become part of AIMSI. That was no surprise. And by 2009-10, I think, became the president of AIMSI. And Tim, he's actually, in as much as I helped give him a start in the business, you've showed me a few things along the way that I think are priceless, and I actually saw them again today. One is, if the AIMSI motto is to educate and to serve, or what does Chris Paolella say? Service before self. Did I get that right? But to educate, to serve, and to network, Tim embodies all those things incredibly well. And one of the first things he did to serve is I think he got on with Scott Kearney, Mark Sullivan, Lori McAvoy, Chris Newman, and others, and put together the first regional gathering of AIMSI in Philadelphia. And he started developing the Philadelphia Breakfast, of which I was a part, and many others, and that led to other regional development of AIMSI across the country and outside the country. And Tim was quickly and continuously a tireless networker. Tim never met somebody, young or old, new to the business, been in the business forever, that he didn't immediately try to take up a conversation with and connect. And one of the things that I learned from Tim that I think would be great for all of the young sales and marketing folks in the room, and if you're here in the first few years of your career and you're new to AIMSI, if you watch Tim in action, which, maybe not in a final or a mandate, but just in the way he handles himself in the conference and when he's chatting, he's not selling. What Tim is doing is he's connecting. He's figuring out what it is that interests you, and he's understanding his audience, and he's building a rapport. Tim is awesome at that. And I think one of the things that unfortunately sales and marketing people get labeled with too easily, and what often creates the boundaries between those and the asset owners and the consultants they serve, is that I'm selling you and I'm on you, and the asset owner and the consultant needs to figure out how to push that away because they're inundated. Tim has never been like that. He has reached out to me and offered me ideas for potential clients and folks that could help our business, and I've seen him do it 100 times. He has been an absolute consistent advocate for the development of AIMSI. He has worked hard with past presidents, with this board. I mean, he came to the board, I think, at a time when AIMSI had hit a rough patch.